Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is presentation about my final year project. The title given is Product Design Optimization using Design for Manufacture and Assembly Method, that is Dfma. So first of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Adam Aiman bin DAUD. Matrix number B0919100060, and my supervisor is Dr. ROSIDAH binti JAAFAR. For this presentation, the table of content include introduction, literature review, methodology, and conclusion. First is the introduction. In this introduction, have background, problem statement, objective, and scope. Background research of my final year project. Dfma, Design for Manufacture and Assembly, is one of the main design approach that focus on ease of manufacture and efficiency of assembled product. Its purpose is to reduce cost and minimum time by simplifying the design of the product. Dfma combines two methodologies that are design for manufacture, that is DFM, and design for assembly, that is DFA. Problem statement of this research. Each study chair has a different design in terms of manufacturing and assembly, which is related to the number of parts of the products. Some of study chair design have many parts such as headrest, some of it didn't have headrest. It consists of many parts and takes a long time to assemble the product. Manufacturer and can improve the product by minimizing and simplifying some of the part and reduce assembly time to get maximum design efficiency. For my final year product is the study chair. So here we can see some of design study chair have many parts. So from that, it will reduce by using this method to make it simple and less time of assemble it. Next, research objective and scope of final year project. Objective first is to minimize and simplify some of the part product and make assembly time short. Second, to investigate the efficiency of the original design and after redesign, that is comparison. And third, to identify the most appropriate material and process for the product. So for this method, DFM method, the main objective is to minimize and simplify some of the part of the product, that is study chair, and make assembly time short. For the scope of research, first is to analyze and compare the design efficiency for both current design of the product and the design of the product. So the scope of research, first thing we analyze the existing design and to know what component or part that will be reduced, and comparing it with the redesign of the product, and we can see the design efficiency for both design. Second scope is to reduce the number of components or parts in the current product using the DFMA procedure without altering their features. So for this method, we will use to reduce the part of the study chair without change the functionality of the study chair. And third, to estimate the manufacturing cost, it's necessary to know the material, hourly rate for manufacturing, and labor cost. So for the study chair, the material used is cost the price, and from that we reduce the manufacturing cost to make it easily to consumer buying the product. For the literature review, the content is what is DFMA, advantage of applying DFMA, and DFMA methodologies. What is DFMA? Design for manufacturing and assembly. That's called DFMA. Is an engineering methodology that prioritizes both the aids of manufacture for the product's parts and the simplified assembly of those parts into the final product during the early design phases of the product life cycle to reduce time to market and total production costs. So next, the advantage of applying DFMA. DFMA created items transferred to the manufacturing phase swiftly and easily, reducing the time it takes for a product to go from concept to ready for market. Second, the amount of data required is reduced by reducing the number of interfaces, which save assembly time. Third, to make the product similar, parts can be utilized interchangeably, reducing the number of parts and lowering assembly costs. Last, DFMA is a method for systematically examining a proposed design from the standpoint of assembly and manufacturing. DFMA methodologies. The Boothroyd-Dewhurst method, or we call the software of DFMA methodologies. The Boothroyd-Dewhurst concept of DFMA allows a team to examine design alternatives and simplify the structure of the product before detailed design has. DFMA is a process by which products are designed with ease of assembly using computer-aided design, CAD. For this research, for my final project, the product study chair will design by the SolidWorks software, and after that, we use the Boothroyd-Dewhurst software to analyze which part will reduce and to reduce the assembly time. So for the table here, it shows the example how the Boothroyd-Dewhurst function from the screw, start from the screw, and with the finished product with the simplified component. That's the methodology. The content is research design, design for assembly study chair, design efficiency study chair, and design for manufacture study chair. So for the research design, this is the flow chart for the project of my final project. Start, problem statement and projective, methodology, existing product analysis, design process, design for assembly, suggestion for simplification. After that, selection of material and process, suggestion for material and process, and goes to design for manufacture. After that, product design, discussion, conclusion, and finally end. Next, design for assembly, DFA. Design for assembly is a process by which products are designed with ease of assembly in mind. When a product has fewer pieces, it takes less time to build, which lowers assembly costs. So in the table, show that the number of parts of the study chair, quantity of the part, and the handling time to assemble the study chair. Before redesign the product, analyze the existing design and recorded the time of the assembly of the chair to compare it with the design product of the chair. And from that, we can know how much part or time that reduce to make it suitable for the DFMA method. For design efficiency, the DFMA involves an assessment of the proposed design's DFA index, often known as assembly efficiency. The quantity of piece and ease of handling, insertion, and fastening of the parts are two significant elements that influence product assembly cost. So for this study chain, when we know how much the percentage of the efficiency, while the increasing of the product efficiency, it will reduce the assembly cost. Design for manufacture DFM of study chain. DFM is a method for designing a set of parts that can readily be assembled to make a product. Material and manufacturing methods are determined in order to improve the design of the study chain. For preliminary finding, study chain will reduce the suggestion to reduce the part is the armrest and the headrest, which is the assembly method of the headrest and some of the parts that will reduce to make it easier to assemble the headrest part. So for the conclusion, DFMA is a good way to optimize a design for mass production at an early stage, so that the product can be efficiently and effectively be produced and assembled. DFMA tools are useful in reducing the time taken to evaluate designs, and therefore it should be implemented as part of the design selection process. And that's all for my presentation of my final year project. Thank you for watching, and that's all for me. Thank you.